Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we're going to look at something that isn't exactly bass related, but may come in very handy for many of you during this time. We're in the middle of the pandemic, and so many times we are on our computers and we need a microphone. So today we're going to look at the Tonor TC-777. It's a condenser mic. It is specially adapted to the computer because it has a USB plug. This is going to allow you to plug straight in without having to have an interface box, without having to, it comes with a stand, it comes with a pop shield. We'll look closer at those details, but it can come in very, very handy in case you don't want to be using the built-in microphone on your computer, or you don't want to be using the ear pod microphone kind of wired arrangement. Some of the sound with some of those doesn't turn out as good, especially with the wired version. If the mic is turned up against your body, it can be muffled, or will pick up the sound of the clothing moving. If you're moving around, it's kind of strange sounds. And we're looking for a good way to get a decent quality sound while we are having these conversations. If you're talking to me, we're doing interviews, microphone, a better microphone will give us a much better end product. Let's take a close look and see what we got. Let's have a close look at the Tonor TC-777 USB condenser microphone. The first thing you notice, this box isn't very big, but when you open it up, it's pretty much got everything that you're going to need. And most of it is already assembled. The only thing that is not attached is the pop filter, which is easy enough to just screw on the little flexible arm. So basically what you're going to get is the microphone itself. You get a microphone stand, you get a mini shock mount, the pop filter, 4 rubber bands, which are part of the mount, 1 manual, and an after-sale card. It's important to note that this is a cardioid microphone, and it does have a pattern, so it has a front side, and that side is the one that says Tonor. Mine got rotated in shipping or in packing or somewhere along the line, so when I first tried it out, I had it backwards. It still picked up sound, but it was better when I put it the way it was supposed to be. You've got about 1.5 meters of cable, and it has a nice Velcro tie so you can shore off some of it, so you could have less or more. It's very convenient. Velcro is one of the best things there ever was. Other details, it's got a sampling rate of 44.1 kilohertz at 16 bits. It has a frequency response of 100 to 16k hertz. It has 680 ohm impedance, and it uses 5 volt power supply. If you are using an Apple computer, as I was, you don't have to download any drivers or anything. Simply go to your system preferences, go to the sound. There you can just highlight Tonor TC-777 and you are in business. Very easy to set up. For our Windows friends, it's a little more complex, but you guys are used to it, so you can do that. Also included in the box is the manual in 5 languages. You've got English, German, French, Italian, and Spanish. And you've got the aftercard, which is got your service. It has a 2-year replacement warranty. So definitely, if you're having any problems, if you've run into an issue, these folks are very responsive and they will reply to you within 12 hours. So it's really good to know that they stand behind their product. Let's give these things a try. Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of chatting with, fill in your name here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of chatting with, fill in your name here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of chatting with, fill in your name here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, here are my thoughts on the TC-777. First of all, we need to take into account price. If you're using the built-in microphone in your computer, it's not going to cost you any more because you already paid for your computer. Price point on this microphone is in the $40 ballpark. I think $39.99, some places up to $41.99 in others, but you're more or less there, and you'll have everything you need. You don't have to buy more accessories. For my usual setup, when you add up the Audio-Technica dynamic microphone, the M-Box interface, the cables and all that, you're looking at close to $200 to get that whole setup, to get this connected to a computer. And so it really is going to boil down to, again, your budget and the kind of job you want to do. If you are going to do interviews, you're going to do gaming, you're Skyping, you're doing all that kind of stuff, this microphone will work perfectly for your needs. Another advantage it has is that because the built-in microphone is set to capture sound all around you, it will get background noise as well. So when you're using your built-in and the neighbor's yard people show up, you're going to have the lawnmower in the distance. With a dedicated microphone, it focuses the sound more on you and you'll get less of the background noise. So that is an advantage with external microphones, whether you do a much more expensive one or the Tonor. These are going to be things that will be better by not using the built-in microphone. What I will mention is that it's also very easy. There's no software that you have to load in. There's no drivers. There is a little bit of a learning curve. As I mentioned before, you want to make sure that it's facing you properly. It does have a front that needs to go towards you. Mine had got rotated in packing, so I had it wrong to begin with. In addition to that, when you open the System Preferences box, and I'm talking Mac, you Windows people are going to have to forge on your own. I know things are a little more complicated for you, but it's very easy for Mac users. You open your Sound Preferences box, you will see that the Tonor is there once it's been plugged in with the USB, and you click on it. And there, now you want to control the level. Ideally, you want this thing set at about 70% on that mic input bar, and you want to have your distance when you're speaking into the mic somewhere between 15 to 30 centimeters for you metric people, 6 to 12 inches for us folks here in the US. Now, one thing that I would recommend is leave the System Preferences box open. That is your control panel, and that is how you can tell where your volumes are. When I'm using an external interface, the controls are in that box. So that's how I'm controlling my volume there. I would always leave that open. It's going to help you. Sometimes what I ran into, the microphone likes to kind of knock itself down on the lower volume side. It was easy just to move the slider up and it was back to where it needed to be for me. So you just kind of want to keep an eye on that control panel while you're using it. Other highlights and things that we want to make sure that we keep in mind: if you're going to be singing or doing music, I would probably go with a higher end microphone. I do think this is going to be great for voice, but even with my singing, which isn't so great, I tend to be more of a bass player than a singer, I kind of liked the dynamic microphone better. I do find that with the dynamic microphone, I got a little more of the bass, a little more fullness in sound. But if all I'm doing is talking, this microphone will do the trick. If you want more information about this microphone, simply go to www.tonormic.com and you can look at their full line and get all the rest of the details you're looking for. Another great place to look, I just went on Amazon to glance, get an idea of the price point. There you will find it's running with 4.5 stars. They're rating it at 4.5 stars, and it's had over 1,500 reviews. So that speaks pretty highly that this is working very well for a lot of people. So this has been Raul for Bass Musician Magazine. We've had a look at the Tonor TC-777 condenser USB microphone.